Welcome to the synergy opportunity and becoming a part of the next trillion-dollar industry. You know, Paul Zane Pilzer wrote a book, and he's a world-renowned economist and presidential advisor to 2 different U.S. presidents, and teaches us how to tap into this next trillion-dollar revolution. You know, Americans have become caught between the economic interests of the trillion-dollar food industry and the trillion-dollar healthcare or sickness industry. In analyzing these 2 giant industrial complexes, Pilzer focuses on an emerging what we call wellness industry that will soon occupy an additional 1/7 or the next trillion of the economy. So timing in life is so important, and you want to position yourself in front of those big movements. And we're going to share with you about a movement that we're involved with at Synergy that will be the next trillion-dollar industry. Now, it all starts because of the effects that we face every day, the stress that's just increasing. And, you know, think about an inactive lifestyle. Most people get up and they go to work for 8 to 10 hours and they sit behind a desk. They come back, they watch a little bit of TV, and they repeat that process over and over. Well, what does that do? With the lack of nutrition choices today in the fast food industry, the lack of sleep, all of these things lead to disease. So if you think about it, on NBC's The Biggest Loser, since 1980, obesity have actually doubled and diabetes has increased 300%. In 1985, the most common dress size in America was an 8, and now it's a 14. But this is the statistic I really want to share with you. In 1905, the average American consumed less than 6 pounds of sweeteners per person per year. And today, it's around 200 pounds of sweeteners per person per year. That has led us into the fastest growing disease in history, which is diabetes. You realize that's an estimated 80 million people right now in America have diabetes or on the verge of developing diabetes. And the scary thing is that because so many people are affected by this disease, the United States is forced to spend $174 billion. Folks, that's more than all of the money spent on AIDS and all cancers combined. The other day on Oprah, Dr. Oz was talking about that if we don't fix this problem of diabetes in our country, we will bankrupt our future ability to pay for healthcare in this nation. According to the American Diabetes Association, 75% of adults with self-reported diabetes had blood pressure greater than or equal to 130/80 or used prescription medications. The risk for stroke is 2 to 4 times higher among people with diabetes, and adults with diabetes have heart death rates about 2 to 4 times higher than adults without diabetes. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death. In fact, if you date all the way back to the year 1900, it's been the #1 cause of death in every single year with the exception of one only. It accounts for about 1 out of every 3 deaths in the United States. And the interesting thing, with women, nearly twice as many women in the United States die of heart disease and stroke and cardiovascular disease as all forms of cancer, including breast cancer, combined. And think about this, folks, heart disease claims more lives each year than cancer, respiratory disease, accidents, and diabetes combined. Folks, we are talking about the #1 cause of death, and we have a way that you can help those that you care about most. Now, who's affected? If you think about this, people with an inactive lifestyle are on a collision course, nearly 40% chance of having a heart attack. And you say, well, what is inactivity? It's what we described before. People that go to work, they sit in front of a computer most of their day, they come home, they watch some TV. That's a collision course. People with obesity, nearly 34% chance. High blood pressure. Well, high blood pressure is also known as the silent killer because people don't realize they have it. There's no sign showing that you have high blood pressure. Yet nearly 1 in 3 Americans right now have it, with nearly half of all heart attacks happening outside of the hospital. This suggests that most people had no idea it was coming. With cardiovascular disease being the #1 cause of death, the question is there hope? And you know what there is, and that hope comes from a miracle molecule. Every year since 1901, the Nobel Prize is awarded to those who during the preceding year shall have conferred the greatest benefit on mankind. In 1998, the Nobel Prize awarded for medicine was to 3 scientists and their discovery of nitric oxide as a signaling molecule in a cardiovascular system. Other notable Nobel Prize discoveries: 1945 was penicillin, 1923 the discovery of insulin, 1901 the X-rays. The greatest benefit on mankind was awarded to nitric oxide in the cardiovascular system in 1998. Dr. Louis Ignarro, along with 2 other scientists, were awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1998 for the discovery of nitric oxide as a signaling molecule in a cardiovascular system. Dr. Ignarro is also the author of No More Heart Disease, and on the front cover talks about how nitric oxide can prevent, even reverse, heart disease and strokes. Dr. John Cook, author of The Cardiovascular Cure, talks about on the back cover, in 1998, the Nobel Prize was awarded to scientists for the discovery of a chemical produced in the lining of the blood vessels that keep them free of plaque. Dr. Joseph Prendergast, author of The Uncommon Doctor, has been a practicing physician for over 35 years, board certified in internal medicine as well as endocrinology and metabolism. Dr. Joe received the prestigious award by the American Diabetes Association for Father of the Year in 2008. Dr. Joe also has had an extensive lifetime of research with the amino acid L-arginine and used it in his practice, where he has been quoted as saying that he has treated over 7,000 patients, and to his knowledge, not one patient has had a heart attack or stroke due to the effects of L-arginine, the amino acid, and what that does unto the body. L-arginine is best known for its cardiovascular benefits. L-arginine is converted in the bloodstream to nitric oxide, which becomes a vasodilator. It relaxes the blood vessels, it reduces stress on the heart, and improves circulation. It promotes healthy blood pressure levels. In fact, many people report having normal blood pressure after just being on the product for a few weeks or a few months. It stimulates the release of the human growth hormone in the body. It promotes healthy sexual function for both men and women. And it may boost energy levels, build muscle, and reduce body fat. Now, the perfect combination is you got Dr. Prendergast, 35 years of research, treated over 7,000 patients in his clinic. Synergy Worldwide is a company founded by Dan Higginson that has a first-to-market type of concept. We're going to talk about that in a second, but being first-to-market is huge in anything. And we believe that we are a first-to-market impact product throughout this industry. Nature Sunshine, who owns Synergy and is the parent company, has over 30 in-house scientists. So you've got this Dr. Prendergast, 35 years of experience, coupled with over 30 in-house scientists that have collaborated to create Pro-Arginine Plus. Nature Sunshine also manufactures the product and was the Supplement Manufacturer of the Year in 2002. Being first to market can create a billion-dollar brand in our industry. Back in 1996, a group of individuals found an exotic fruit in Tahiti. They simply went and bottled it and packaged it and sold it to the world and have created billions of dollars in sales. Another group found the mangosteen fruit in 2002, and another group found the acai berries down in the Amazon rainforest. Literally went down, bottled it, packaged it, and they came first to market. These companies have sold billions of dollars in product because they impacted the market first. We believe that with the benefit of L-arginine and nitric oxide, that we are going to have the same first-to-market type of appeal throughout the world. Now, if you go to the government's website for published medical studies, it's www.pubmed.gov. Effective on February 2nd of this year, you'll notice that of all time, the studies done on the noni fruit, 120 studies. On the mangosteen fruit, 109 studies. On the acai berries, only 64 studies. But look at the amount of published medical studies on L-arginine, over 90,000. And on nitric oxide, over 100,000. If you want to be involved with a first-to-market type of opportunity, this is your opportunity. Now, the opportunity for you and I is to couple with a company that has the vision. Synergy Worldwide is launched in 1999, is now in 20 different countries, and was ranked in Entrepreneur magazine at one point as one of the fastest growing companies in America. Synergy is owned by a company called Nature Sunshine, one of the giants in the network marketing industry, 38 years old. In 2002, was awarded the top manufacturer in the world for nutritional supplements by Nutritional Outlook. It's a huge company that's been around for nearly 4 decades, that sells products in over 50 different countries throughout the world, and is publicly traded right now today on NASDAQ. So the financial backing and the security is there. The reason why all of this is coming together, and the reason why this next trillion-dollar industry is being impacted so heavily right now, is that maybe no other time in our lives has the economy worldwide been so poor. In fact, in 2009, October 2009, we hit the worst unemployment rate in 26 years. And in 2009, nearly 3 million households were hit with a foreclosure. That's 1 in 45 homes, the worst it's ever been. So because of the economic downturn, home-based business is thriving. It's nearly a $500 billion industry right now. Employs half the private sectors, and tens of thousands of people are making more than $1 million. But what's impressive is that income